our generation has invented various ways to um, execute their sexual desires and to you know to execute their sexual passions and their sexual cravings. It's a very explorative generation. I've said that again. All right, I've said that before, and I'm saying it again. It's a very explorative generation. It's a generation that gets what they want, gets what they want, and there are so many platforms that they can get it. Why sexual temptation in 21st century seems different? It is a bit escalated now. People may argue. I've heard people with arguments such as, well, Sodom and Gomorrah was a bad place, and they existed as way back as then, and all of that. But then, because of all the various inventions we have in today's world, television, media, all of these outlets and platforms has created, a platform for sexual advertisement, sexual brandishing. So it's everywhere: billboards, TV screens, phone screens, laptop, movies, all of these things. Now, of course, I said that the standards have dropped. That also contributes to it. I mean, a dress in the 60s or in the 50s, a dress. If you check, I had to go and do some study as to the sexualization of some of these industries, like the music industry. I think I was reading somewhere, somebody was talking about how a particular music channel, I don't want to mention names so that it doesn't look like I'm spoiling market for anybody. A particular music channel was the one that birthed that sexualization, and before then they used to play songs that are just normal and all of that. But now, we have songs that talk about sex, vulgarity, lewdness, and they are played in public stations. It wasn't like that. It wasn't always like this. It wasn't always like that. I saw a picture of New York. I think it was New York in 1950 or so, and they were celebrating Easter. April was celebrating Easter. It's a tall building. It's a tall building in New York, and we're celebrating Easter. And so they put a sign of the cross. That's 1950 something. Now, just 2 years ago, that same building celebrated Gay Pride. They celebrated the Gay Pride month, and they put the colors of the LGBT on that building, just to show you how things have changed from 1950 to 30 years ago. And so now it is now offensive to be religious, and it is now welcomed to be sexual. All of that. So it's a generation that has embraced sexuality. People are coming out to say things like, I am bisexual, I'm transgender. People could never even dare to do that 50 years ago. It was not even an option that you go public about that kind of stuff. So our generation has embraced sexuality. That means that showing of cleavages for ladies is just normal. If you're not showing nipple, you're not showing anything. Everybody has been sexualized. Everybody has been indoctrinated by the god of Eros. All right, the movie scenes that didn't used to contain much explicit content. Now it's just normal. It's just normal. In fact, if you don't have any of such content, you probably won't. Nobody will buy your stuff and all of that. So all of these things is what makes this generation a little bit different from previous centuries and previous generations. All right.
Thank you so much for that, sir. So let me just jump into the next question. So one of the things that you actually made mention here is about, particularly, I picked up something about indecent dressing, right, and how indecency has actually led to rise and escalated the rise in sexual activity. All right, so let me just move on to the next question. I now want to narrow down the scope to why or what role the media or internet play in fueling our sexual desires.
What role the media has played, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, sexuality is often triggered by, I don't want to use any strange mystical term, so I will say one thing and then I'll explain what I mean. By the eye gate. Eye gate refers to the access to the art. The access to the art. Because by the time we consider sexuality, we will see that everything begins from the heart. And whatever you deposit in the heart will eventually play out in your life. And so the eye gate is a very, very big pathway to the heart. David was a good man, but he had a little dent in his ministry and career, which was the issue of Bathsheba. He saw a woman while he was or the roof of the palace. So you saw a woman, it's triggered an appetite. So we have the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, and the lust of the eyes. So what we see often influences how we think, it influences how we behave. The first temptation was a sight temptation. Eve looked at the tree or the fruit. The Bible says she saw that it was good for food. She saw after the conversation with Satan. So the eye is very, very important. Now, of course, the major means of accessing the media is the eye. There are other outlets. People hear radio, you understand? But the media majorly, explores people's sight. And if the media is not, if the media, the media leaders are governed by, and of course most of them are governed by liberal people who also embrace this concept of sexuality, who feel, sexy is good now, there's nothing wrong with sexuality. I was saying the other day that, we have things like pornography on the internet. We have things like, not even pornography, we have things that are illegal pornography, like child pornography on the internet. Nobody is going to take that down. Nobody is going to ban that, because the owners of the media, the big tech guys, many of them involved in all of these things, and they don't feel it's a big deal. Pedophilia, that used to be a very, very terrible crime. You are having sex with a child. Many people are campaigning and say, listen, children have feelings too now. Children also have feelings. Why can't we allow them to enjoy themselves? They are also human beings. They have a right to enjoy themselves. And before you know it, pedophilia is going to be endorsed with time. So the point is that the ideology of the leaders of the media is also perverse. And so they control content. What that means is that they control content. So, of course, we know that many conservative voices have been silenced in recent times. I don't want to go political, but then everybody knows. We know what's happening around the world. Silencing a lot of conservative voices. I said I didn't want to mention something earlier because they can shut the video down. It's their platform. They can shut the video down and say, "You are spoiling the market for somebody." Yeah, you understand? So I have to be careful. As I'm talking, I have to be careful. Even though I must say the truth. But the point is that the guys controlling the media have a liberal mind. They have a sexual mind too, and whatever they call right is what they will put on their platforms. And for them, sex outside marriage, sexuality, sexual perversion is good. It's fine. It's okay, and they've allowed this. So once you have a steady supply of these perversions and people can see them, certainly the world is controlled and dominated by these ideologies, these indoctrinations. You have no idea how many hours people spend on their phones, on the internet, scrolling through Instagram. What kind of images do you see there? You see, the average lady or some ladies get their dress sense from what celebrities wear on the internet, or what celebrities post on the internet. So they scroll through Instagram, they see this particular dress, and they say, this woman, she goes to church. She's a good woman. She's wearing something that drops down to her cleavage. Because the lady convinces herself, but she's a good woman. That means this is right. That means this is good. Many influencers of this generation on the media, let me not say the biggest, but a great major influence of this generation is on the media. Somebody, we're talking about even economic powers. Elon Musk tweets something. He tweets something, just a tweet, and the stock or the value of the brand is tweeting just skyrockets. It shows you the influence of the media. So imagine somebody now spends 60% of his active daytime on the media. He's been indoctrinated, he's been brainwashed. Whatever he sees, he will assume it is normal. You understand? We have people following celebrities who dress half naked, who use vulgar language in their lyrics. All of these things enters the heart, and then it educates a generation. So this is how the media influences sexuality, and this is how the media influences our generation.